And those beautiful, like, day in the life videos, they're not bad, but I think they need to be retitled. They need to be retitled My Good Day in the Life because they very rarely show the frustrations and the fights and the just, "Oh, I'm going nuts" moments, right? But we have them. Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. If you are new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I am a second generation homeschool mom, and this is my channel for everything homeschool, my opinions, my curriculum, our updates, anything I feel like sharing homeschool related. So I hope you enjoy. Today I just wanted to be real about a specific struggle in homeschooling, kind of as an encouragement to you guys. And that is just how frustrating homeschool can be sometimes. I think even those of us who are trying to be real on social media, on YouTube, portray ourselves as better than we are. It's kind of hard not to. I'm not taking videos of my child breaking down, and it's not fair to them to do so. I'm not taking videos of myself when I'm just all out frustrated, right? And those beautiful, like, day in the life videos, they're not bad, but I think they need to be retitled. They need to be retitled My Good Day in the Life because they very rarely show the frustrations and the fights and the just, "Oh, I'm going nuts" moments, right? But we have them. So I think it's easy for those of us who are doing our job, who are putting in the work, um, and who are still experience frustration during the week, like frustration as a regular thing, to feel like we're somehow doing it wrong or we're somehow just not as good as the rest of us or as the rest of us on social media, to feel like we just can't get our act together. Why am I always frustrated? Now, in this, I want to be careful because I do not want to encourage you to live in a place of frustration. Like, that's not healthy for you. It's not healthy for your family. It's not godly. So I would encourage you, if you are experiencing frustration on a regular basis, to address it. Like, consider where it's coming from. Is it coming from scheduling, the conflicts happening? We need to remove things. Is it coming from sibling conflicts and we need to deal with that? Is it coming from your child not listening to you? Is it coming from bad attitudes? And you need to address those specific things, often outside your homeschool. For some of those child-led frustrations, like bad attitudes and sibling conflict, like those are things you need to deal with in your home because how things are going in your home will be how they go in your homeschool. If your child does not listen to you day in and day out during home, they're not going to all of a sudden listen to you as the teacher in your homeschool. If your siblings or your kids are fighting with each other during the day, yes, they'll be fighting with each other during homeschool. So those things you need to address as a more whole thing, not a homeschool thing. But I digress. So I would just say, if you're experiencing frustration, I'm not encouraging you to stay there. I'm just encouraging you that more of us experience intense frustration and regular frustration than you probably think. Yes, I try to be upfront. I try to say we had a bad day. We had a bad first week. On my updates, I do try to share when things aren't going well, but that's different than being in the moment just so fed up and feeling like, what am I doing wrong? And I have those moments. Whether or not I look like it, I have those moments regularly. There are days when things are perfect, where the day just goes smooth and without a hitch and everything's great. We have those days, but those are not our normal day. And there are days when everything is a frustration. And oh my goodness, today was one of those days. So just to be completely real, today was one of those days where I felt like every 2 seconds, I had to get up and deal with one of my kids. It was so maddening. And each time you get up and interrupt what you're doing, you get more worked up and man, it was a rough day today. We went easily an hour, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours over what we should have for school just because I was constantly interrupted. I was constantly having to deal with and manage bad attitudes, manage squabbling, and I'm not going to let those go, but man, it drags our day out, and man, I have to deal with myself in that because my frustration is also causing me to sin sometimes, just in my attitude, in my heart, in the way I speak. So I really have to deal with myself. But just like we have those days, like today, where everything seems to go wrong, where everything just, like, I start with one kid and the other kid starts bickering with their sibling and you've got to go deal with that. And then I start with the second kid and they're just having this terrible attitude. I hate the attitudes, guys. That may get to me more than anything else. For me, the top two are when my kid is having just a stinker attitude and I'm like, I'm not here for me. I'm helping you. And then the other one is when my kids are just bickering in the background and you're helping a third child and all of a sudden you realize they're bickering, but by then you're so fed up that you're like, bah! um, I know I'm not the only one. So we have the perfect days and we have the days where just everything goes wrong. But I would say the majority of the days really are in between, where a lot of things go right, things go smooth, but we have those moments of frustration where a kid has a bad attitude over this subject and you're just trying to work through clench your jaw a little bit because you're just, I really want you to get through. I want to finish this subject so that we can move on. I want to help you finish. And like I said, it's not always anger, but just those moments occur on a regular basis in our homeschool. And like I said, I'm not endorsing those, and I want to become a more patient and kind mother. That is one of my goals, to have grace be my speech and not harshness when I'm frustrated, to control myself so that my children see that. So it's something I need to role model for them. But that doesn't mean the frustrations aren't there. It doesn't mean that you are doing a bad job because you have frustrations in your homeschool. It means you are a sinner dealing with a lot of little sinners. And that's not a combination that leads to perfection. So even when we're trying to be real on social media, you guys just need to know we don't you don't see that the way you experience it in your own home, right? I know that. Um, and like I said, those day in the life videos are great for showing you kind of how they do the flow, how they do things, but you're not seeing the battles in those day in the life videos, which happen for all of us. And if there is a homeschool mom out there who's like, well, I don't experience any frustration, either one of two things. You're not working very hard, you're doing just what's fun, or you're not telling the truth. I do not think there's many, if any, homeschool moms out there who do not experience frustration with their kids. Like I said, you're just dealing with stinkers, and you also have an attitude and a preference, and you want things to go a certain way. And so when you push those against each other, there will be friction. And again, I'm not saying that my homeschool's bad or that we live in a state of frustration. There are days, like I said, today was one of them. But as a general rule, the days go pretty well. We have good things, we enjoy it, and I would say homeschooling is extremely rewarding and satisfying. And I don't feel dissatisfied that I'm not doing a good job in our homeschool. I just know that, yeah, we're going to have frustration, and I'm going to have to consciously deal with myself and take those moments for correcting and teaching and molding my children um, to control themselves, right? With my second daughter right now, it's attitudes. And like I said, that can drive me nuts. So I get frustrated, but I'm also trying to teach her that she needs to be in control of herself, that she has a choice in her attitude. She doesn't just have to have an attitude, that she can choose a good attitude so that then I can help her. And that there are consequences for bad attitudes. She is going to have a bad attitude over the hard things. Well, I'm not going to do the fun things with her. She's going to lose those privileges, right? There's ways of teaching your child, and you're going to have to take those. You're going to have to embrace them as they come up. And I'm talking to myself here, um, and deal with them. Don't just let them sit there and become bigger and bigger. Start a new day, figure out what went wrong, try to work on them. I am constantly trying to work on them, but also don't beat yourself up for being a terrible homeschool mom just because you get frustrated, right? Don't feel like you're the only one. Don't feel like, what's wrong with me? Why is my homeschool not what everybody's portraying on YouTube? Because it is. It is. It's a lot more like what we have than you probably realize. So yeah, I just wanted to take the opportunity to be real and offer some encouragement to some of you if you feel like, um, if you feel down because you feel frustrated with your kids. Like, that is totally normal. It's not something to live in, but it is totally normal. So don't beat yourself up, but address it. Address it and think of small practical ways that you can start dealing with it, or ways to breathe in the moment, ways to calm yourself down, ways to realize that you're becoming part of the equation, right? When your kid is acting out and then you get frustrated, now it's both of you instead of just your kid. Ways to pull yourself out of that situation to, okay, I'm not going to get frustrated so that I can deal with this well. Like, address it, deal with it, find methods for you, but don't feel like you're the only one.